Hill Street Blues won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today is another little
For the Stepdads.
Yeah, you silly little stepdads are back. Talk about some 70s sci-fi. It's been a minute, man. So Adam and Phoebe, they went on their summer vacation. Adam and Phoebe went to go see Adam's folks for their 50th anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
In
Big 50.
in Illinois.
In Illinois.
And then they swung on down to hot-ass Phoenix.
Yeah, the day going from waking up to 55 degrees and then going to 115 degrees, people are not designed for that.
No, you're lucky you didn't get sick.
The funny thing is I did get sick.
That's not funny.
I caught a cold during the whole fiasco.
And then you guys swung down to Phoenix for Phoebe's niece's first birthday.
Yeah, she's such a sweetheart. When you think of cute babies, she's stinking cute, man.
Nice.
It's hard.
Should try to get her on the Gerber baby.
She's adorable, and she really likes me. Every time she would see me, she would smile real big. It's nothing quite like having a child smile at you.
Oh, now you think about having kids?
Hell no, not at all. I literally can't have kids.
So Adam's probably exhausted. He's been on the road for 2.5 weeks. He just got back yesterday.
But it was nice. I got to travel. I read a lot, which was great. I read a bunch of books of the source material for things we watched this month.
Nice.
It was good. It was fun. It was good to see family and stuff. I'm very happy to be home.
Yeah. I did the opposite. I, for the show, watched a lot of things.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things to recommend, a lot of things to talk about.
Nice.
The cat and I did some binging.
Yeah. When she wasn't being a nasty little thing. Was she being better?
Well, she's funny because I did have to work a little bit, so I left her, and
it's very rare for her to be home alone.
Right.
Like completely
There's
alone.
usually somebody here.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like it. Does not like being alone. So she has to punish me for a little while. So
she's so cute. It's so funny. It's so funny.
She'll what she likes to do is she'll get on the bed and she'll turn her back to me and sit. Just to show either that or she'll like jump on the bed and give me a little bite and then run away just to show her displeasure.
Weird.
Yeah.
She's such a weirdo.
But then she was super cute. Then she was just all cuddles and kisses for, she loves how lazy I can be.
Yeah.
And how sedentary. I'm like a statue.
Cat-like you are.
Yes. I am very feline.
It doesn't help any that it's super hot now and
God.
we have our weird setup of trying to keep the
Rube Goldberg
Gen X headquarters cool is so Rube Goldberg-y, and she is not a fan of the fans by any means.
No, or the air conditioning or anything that's different. She's man, let's talk about the month. What a great month. My favorite genre of sci-fi.
Yeah.
I spoke about it ad nauseum, but I love these movies so much because they're equal parts cheese.
Oh, so cheese.
And social commentary.
Yeah.
And over-the-top action or over-the-top.
Just the utter ridiculousness of most of it is fantastic.
And just so weird costume. I mean, the imagination in 70s sci-fi, the imagination that it takes to bring a lot of these things together, it's really innovative and interesting.
It is.
So much of today's sci-fi is very interchangeable.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to distinguish. There's, as much as I absolutely adore Blade Runner, it did not do us any favors for design because it's so perfectly designed.
Yeah.
That everybody wants to rip off that cyberpunk kind of.
It spawned a new genre called neon noir.
Right, which is awesome, but I like Zardoz, man. I
know.
Dudes in diapers and giant heads spewing guns out of their mouths. I like weird, wispy burlap outfits in Logan's Run. Or,
and the weird sleep event where they all float into the sky and explode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the awesome, super tight white 70s suits with the awesome white cowboy hat that Jimmy Kahn wears in Rollerball.
Rollerball. Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like 70s movie sci-fi all of these movies included, were kind of a response to 60s like novel sci-fi,
Yeah.
which was also tied in with like the Twilight Zone and like in Alfred Hitchcock Presents and a little bit, or the Outer Limits.
Sure.
You know, things like you could literally write whatever you wanted, and it was like, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll make
Right.
it work. You know, whatever idea you have, no matter how weird it is, we'll make it work and make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of future stuff too, but everything seemed like 50s and 60s sci-fi. It seemed very grounded in like reality.
Right. Movies did. Yes, I agree.
Even TV. I mean, even like
Sure.
Twilight Zone. I love Twilight Zone, but it all seemed like it could happen within our reality almost.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there were the twisty
Yeah.
ones with the guys with the gross faces, and like, we all
Yeah.
have gross faces, and you're
Yeah.
pretty, so you're gross.
Sure. There was always you had to back then. I mean, now you should now as well, but like there need to be some kind of something that the audience will be able to connect with.
Right.
Yeah.
70s sci-fi, they didn't give an F.
But that's the thing is that the 60s sci-fi like TV and movies was that way, but the short stories and the novels were so far beyond
Yeah.
that. It was like reading Logan's Run, the original novel. Half of the novel is them just making up words that you have to decipher as you go along, and it's like I have
That
to
sounds like
reread a
fun.
sentence like 8 times to be like, I think this is what they're talking about.
Yeah, you got the goobies on the jib jab.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's like.
Get your bloobity bloobs.
But you know, in that world, it makes sense, and that's
Sure.
the character because you're going from Logan's point of view, so it's like he knows these things,
Yeah.
and you just kind of have to catch up, and you know, and it's
I love that stuff though.
yeah.
I wrote
mean,
it.
same, yeah.
I wrote a script called Teenage Reefer Cannibals years ago.
Yeah.
And it takes place in the 50s. And so
Nice.
I researched 50s slang.
Yeah. Lingo and
Probably
stuff.
too much. But it was so much fun to jam that stuff in there.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
'cause
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
so, it's like, so, I love slang from different eras because it is so
Sure,
bizarre.
sure.
It is so bizarre. And especially like the,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, the origins.
Well, as a writer, you have to because that's what people then immediately believe. Like, oh, like this is the world they're in. But when that world is in 2116 and no one knows what that world is,
Yeah.
there's nothing to literally latch onto. It's like
No, you can make
know.
up whatever you want.
they talk about the maze all the time, and it took me at least 80 pages to realize that was like an underground subway. Essentially, that went around the entire world. It was
Okay.
like, oh, okay, yeah. But it was good. I mean, it was good. It definitely ended very differently. And they didn't. The weird thing about it is that it wasn't a bubble city. I get why they had to do that for the movie,
Right.
because they had to get out of the bubble city,
Yeah.
you know, or whatever. But it's like there were still just as many people in the world. They were just all under the age of 21. But they went to Crazy Horse. They went to the North Pole. Like they went to all these random places immediately with the. They went to all these random places immediately with this maze thing that like it you know moved them from place to place, and it was interesting, and I get why they had to tone it down for the movie.
Yeah.
I ended up not watching the show, so maybe they explored more of that stuff in the show.
I don't know. I was going to watch it too, but I just did not get around to it. It was like homework.
It's not good.
I remember it. I watched it
Yeah.
as a kid. It's very close to the,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure they reused a lot of the same stuff.
There was a lot of in the novel. There was a lot of weird groups of like, you know, all the young people that decided they wanted to live outside, and they lived in the Badlands in like South Dakota, and they were essentially like indigenous Americans, but not really. You know, they visit like a nursery where all the kids are like 4 or 5, and they're hyper intelligent, and they like try to take one of them away, and all. It was a series. It was very episodic. It was a series of them facing challenges and then, you know, surpassing them.
Well, it sounds to me like it would make a good series reboot, like a television series, like a Prime.
Yeah.
Or Hulu.
Yes, I agree. I think it would be interesting to revisit it and stick more to the source material. Because it did. I mean, he did. In the movie, he gets assigned to go defeat it and defeat the sanctuary and like find the runners and all that, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. And in the book, he decides because he's on his last day, and he's like, well, if I do this, either one, they're gonna have me not go to sleep, or 2, it'll be my blaze of glory of like, hey, I defeated the sanctuary thing, and his character arc, you know, by the end, he's like, no, actually, we need to live. And,
All right. Well, it sounds interesting. All
Yeah.
right, I'm in.
yeah, it was good.
I don't think you can remake Zardoz in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And do it justice.
No, not at
It's
all.
an anomaly.
How would that is the most unremakeable movie ever.
Well, the number one reason would be why. Let's be honest.
Because it's perfect.
But
why would you want to?
There's no way that you're going to improve upon that movie.
No.
In any way.
No.
So, but I would like to see like a Christopher Nolan rollerball.
Yes.
Or a really
Yes.
smart director take on that
yeah.
story, because I read the short story.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah.
Which was remarkably similar to the movie.
Yeah. Written very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really reminded me of Stephen King because it had those punchy sentences and those kind of like, cliffhangers that got solved like 3 sentences later. It's a short story.
Sure.
But it was very, very similar to much more than I thought so, especially with the whole wife and the the corporatocracy kind of thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that was really different was the motivations.
Right.
Jonathan wasn't being forced into retirement because he was an individual.
Right.
It was,
he had been doing it for like 15 years and he was just getting old.
Yeah.
Like it was him knowing that he couldn't do this forever.
But realizing, again, just like the movie, that his personality is basically rollerball.
Right. And that he wanted to be more. He wanted to not just be the rollerball guy. Like
Right.
he wanted to be more than that. And in that world, you couldn't be. Like you were in your little area, your little
bubble.
expertise, and then that was it. And yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was a really good adaptation. I'm glad I read it.
It's such a great movie.
Oh, it
God,
really
I love that movie
is.
so
It
much.
really, all of these movies this month were really fun and different in their own way, and they're a great representation of just how nutty your 70s sci-fi can get. I was reading an article that the 70s, it was a time where we were the most into diversity, inclusion,
Yeah.
and equity.
Yeah.
We were moving so much towards like racial equality, LGBTQ acceptance.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was this really, we're all about to legalize pot.
Right.
That was coming.
Yeah.
All this stuff was just gearing us towards this, great future.
Kind of. Yeah.
And then Reagan put a stop to all of that.
Oh,
and it's really interesting because it does kind of reflect the sci-fi of the 70s, because even though there's a lot of dystopia,
right.
there's also a lot of hopia.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
That was awful.
Wow.
That was horrible. But you know what I mean? It's like we were pointing out what's going to happen in the future if we don't change our ways.
Yeah.
And people seem to be like, okay.
Right.
The whole environmental situation was coming more and more into focus.
Right.
And people were more about, okay, let's fix it. I mean, it was so weird how that decade was propelling us towards the
progressive
leftist
future.
utopia that we
Yeah.
all desire. And then old Ronnie came in and squashed it.
Yeah.
And then you could see the sci-fi from the 80s, which is a dystopian,
Right.
like
Much darker.
Yeah. And then the 90s was kind of a blowback because you have stuff like Demolition Man. Demolition Man, the blowback was you've got Dennis Leary that's like, I want to smoke cigarettes and I want to eat hamburgers and I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to be able to do everything that's gross and I want to be this and I want to be that. And so it was basically showing this utopia PC future.
Right.
But then the blowback is, well, I just want to do all the scummy stuff.
Right.
And we were all like, yeah.
Yeah,
But-
scummy stuff.
So it's so funny, the way that
Yeah.
the blowback happens in each decade. I don't know. I just find it fascinating. I think sci-fi is such a great barometer
Oh yeah. Totally.
of what the
Oh,
social
yeah.
consciousness is
Yeah.
of the time.
Well, and that's what because my favorite thing growing up were sci-fi short stories, because you were able to have social commentary, have it be that subtle social commentary that you didn't even realize you were reading social commentary.
Exactly. You can have this whole thing about aliens, and it's like, oh my God, it was about racism.
Yeah.
And that was one of the brilliant things about the Twilight Zone and the Outer Limits and those kind of things, is they would sneak little social messages. Not sneak. They would hammer them in.
They were
with a
in there.
giant hammer.
Sure.
But still, I mean, it was very. You could get away with that kind of stuff where you couldn't,
Yeah.
so much in just like real life. You know, you couldn't
Well,
have like a
right,
detective
right.
show where it's, you know.
Well, and that's in the 90s. They tried to redo the Twilight Zone and the Outer Limits and all this, and they failed.
Because they didn't get that's the problem with these reboots is they forget what the soul of the property is. And when you excise the soul, then you have a soulless cash grab.
Perfect example, the remake of Rollerball in 2002.
Rollerball. What was that song? Oh, it got stuck in my head.
No, it was I don't know.
It's all like Puddle of Mud.
I've blocked it out. It was so bad.
That whole period of time.
It was embarrassing.
So indicative.
It was embarrassing.
Yes, but it's true. I mean, the remake of that is so of its time.
Oh yeah. It's a perfect movie for its time. Yeah,
because of extreme sports were really big.
Triple X
and energy drinks.
Yeah.
You know, and people just, you know...
Fast and the Furious. And,
yeah, but everybody's going to the extreme.
Yeah.
You know, everybody had to be, you know, at level 10, man. We got to hit it.
Mountain Dew Plus. Yeah.
Code Red.
Code Red.
Mountain Dew,
Code
baby.
Red. You got to go Code Red.
You know, caffeinated, upset.
Oh.
Just a bunch of whining.
It was so bad. We have to watch it at some point. I've never seen it.
I have.
I
think I even saw the unrated version.
Oh, really?
Well, because it was least violent and had, you know, it wasn't watered down PG 13 version or whatever. I think they had the unrated. That was a big thing too back then.
Come out, yeah.
Everything had an unrated version, and you're like, oh man, there's going to be lots of sex or something. But it was usually just a bunch of F words.
33 seconds of somebody's butt.
But if you haven't seen these movies, again, I know ad nauseum, we're just like, watch them, but watch them and get yourself some other good. We're going to be covering a lot of 70s stuff because it's my favorite decade. I'm forcing poor Adam.
And I don't know anything about it because I wasn't born until the late 70s. But this is what I love about it is that I can see your passion for this stuff and it makes me excited for these things, you know.
Well, it's like the 80s because I was born in 69. So my formative years were the 70s.
Sure. Same. Yeah. I mean like mine was the 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you have a love for things 80s.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that I still have, but you know, it's like the cartoons and stuff that you were into, I'm probably still into because I've loved, you know, I've loved cartoons way too long. Yeah. I never grew up in that respect.
Yeah.
In many respects. But yeah, it's just, you know, the stuff that we had, like it was such a glorious time to be a child.
Yeah.
Because there was stuff for you. Like now, yes, there's tons of stuff for you on iPads and, you know, this and that. But we had like a block of time. The TV time was precious.
Yeah.
You had 3 channels. You only had 24 hours a day. You had to get your golf in and your sports and your soap operas and your sitcoms and your procedurals and your news. But we would get a block, man. We would get a block in the afternoons, and we would get a block on Saturday mornings, just specifically for us. And it made you feel special. And it also made that time special.
Right.
And because, you know, parents, too, were like, just like today with limiting screens, our screens that were limited were TV.
Yeah. And in limited time. Yeah.
It's all the same. But we didn't have a choice.
Right.
Or very many choices on what to watch. And another thing, too, is like, oh, man, if 2 of your favorite cartoons were on at the same time on different channels, it was Sophie's Choice, baby.
Yeah, what do you do? Yeah.
Once VCRs came in, then you could have that magic that was like watch one thing and tape another that was just like voodoo.
Right.
How the hell do they do that? But yeah, man, I mean, the 70s was just a simpler, more positive time that is just kind of unique in our history.
Yeah.
There's no other decade like the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of strife and there was a lot of bad things going on, but that made the entertainment even more important because it was like we need to get, you know, we want the kids to escape away from that.
But people were exhausted.
Yeah,
they were exhausted from the war.
Yeah,
they were exhausted from Watergate. They were exhausted from all of these new types of scandals and things that were happening that had never really happened before.
Yeah, this distrust of things that
distrust of the government
hadn't been. Yeah,
there wasn't that before.
No,
at least mainstream.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there was always those commies trying to ruin everything.
Although, I mean, technically, we should have been distrustful of the government long before that, with all the various scandals that happened. But because of the rise of global media and stuff, we were able to get that information faster and stuff.
And Watergate helped a lot in terms of accelerating our distrust of government because basically the president was a crook. I'm not a crook.
Right.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
But do yourselves a favor.
If you have to say I'm not a crook.
Yeah.
Probably you are.
That was quaint. Remember back then when people were held account? Held to account?
It's coming back around.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so look, if you're my age, then you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
But if you're a younger pup, younger pup?
Yeah, younger pup.
Sure. Let's go with that. Sorry, guys. That's really gross. If you're a younger person, give yourself a little 70s detour.
Yeah.
You know? Look at some books, look at some TV shows, and get a feel because I'll tell you, the clothes, everything about that decade is anomalous. It is so bizarre and
So
just
weird.
so glorious.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing. I mean, and God knows we have plenty of other 70s stoner sci-fi to explore.
Oh, man, we haven't even talked about Planet of the Apes yet.
I know. And the sequels. Oh, man.
Planet of the Grapes. About the wineries.
I love Planet of the Apes. And we will. We're going to do a Planet of the Apes month. But there's too many. God, those last couple of movies. Well, I should say the third and fourth movies are so 70s preachy sci-fi.
Oh, we'll lump those together. But
Have to.
And we'll ignore.
No, we're not.
We're not going to ignore the Mark Wahlberg one.
Oh, well, no. I mean, we'll talk about it with the last movie. We'll talk about it.
That was a shame.
It was more. It was actually closer to the novel, the original novel.
Oh, I know.
But
I'm sorry.
That was Tim Burton.
But I don't. Anybody. Look, man.
That was Charlton Heston. He was dying.
Mark Wahlberg does things well. He plays a dummy really well.
One part he did perfectly.
Boogie Nights.
The Departed.
Boogie Nights and The Departed are both brilliant performances.
Exactly.
By
Yes.
him.
Oh, yeah. I would. Yes,
Boogie Nights is one of my favorite
He has
movies.
a very narrow range.
He does. And when he steps out of it, it's glaring. Oh. Like The Happening, when he was, I'm a scientist. I don't know.
That's
the trees are eating us.
In Planet of the Apes, he was an astronaut.
I'm
And
an
it's like,
astronaut.
no, you're not.
You guys are apes?
No, you're not.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't weird. Yeah, I just, he's got a wheelhouse. And when he steps out of it.
When he hits it, it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. The other guys.
Yeah.
With Will Ferrell.
Brilliant.
Hilarious.
Brilliant.
Look, I'm not pooping on him.
He's good when he's good, or he's great when he's good.
Sure.
But then everything else is not good.
Yeah.
But anyway, the whole thing is, I love the original Planet of the Apes novel. It is Pierre Boulet, an amazing French author, so good. The movies are amazing. I have a Caesar head that holds all of the DVDs, which it doesn't even include the new ones, which eventually I bought the new ones on 4K.
Those are good. The rebooty.
So good. We'll do that eventually. It'll happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll do Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'll do, we've done Buck Rogers. We've done a lot of the TV stuff. But, that's post-Star Wars. You got to look at 70s sci-fi as pre and post-Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Because pre-Star Wars is so crazy and unique, and there's so many just creative swings.
Oh, yeah.
Big swings.
Yeah.
And then after Star Wars, everything was, let's just make Star Wars.
Yeah. Although there was, I will say, in the 80s, there was some good blowback to the whole Reagan era and like
Space pirates, ice pirates,
Robot Jocks, which is a awful movie but so good.
Ice Pirates is on YouTube. I don't know. I was like zipping around YouTube the other day, and I remember seeing Ice Pirates in the theater.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll pop it on.
Yeah.
And I started watching it. Oh, it's a horrible movie. But
Yeah.
the cast, you have Angelica Houston playing just like one of the pirates.
Yeah.
You have Ron Perlman looking so young and so absolutely different than he looks now. It is. I would watch it just to look at Ron Perlman.
His face and jaw have continued to grow while he's gotten older.
It must have.
Like he's just gotten this. He has his face is like the size of a desk now.
But he's just like a little
huge.
guy. He's like a little guy in this. He's not all big and crazy.
Oh,
and,
really? Yeah.
He's just like there's Ron Perlman, you know?
So, okay, first and foremost, we're going to jump into what we've watched and stuff.
Sure.
But we had talked about this. We need to talk about the new Indiana Jones movie.
Yes. Oh, my God. Look, I know we're at the end of July and it's been out for a while.
I don't even know if it's still in the theaters. I assume it is.
It is.
Okay.
It is. It was so fun, man.
I loved it so much.
Me too. I love all the Indiana Jones movies. I know people have a lot of problems with Crystal Skull. I don't. I still think it's super fun. We just watched it recently.
Yeah.
You know, is it Raiders of the Lost Ark? No.
I wouldn't say I loved it. I'd say I liked it.
I loved it. And the main reason why I loved it is one scene, the scene when he is reunited with Marion.
Yeah.
The acting that he does it's just a tiny little moment, but the way he looks at her, it's like looking at a teenage Harrison Ford again. It is such a brilliantly acted scene, and they're so good together. But this movie, it's tight. It is such a great ending to the Indiana Jones story. Some of the criticism that I've heard is like, oh, you know, he's just a broken man, and he needs like this woman to blah blah bloop. And it's like, you guys are totally missing the point.
What?
Totally missing the point. First of all, Indiana Jones had a pretty tough life, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... He's been through some ass.
He's been shot 9 times.
Yes, and he's been fighting
and
Nazis.
That was before the movie started.
Yes. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She's brilliant.
She
is
good in the
so
movie.
good as a foil. Their chemistry is amazing. She has a great arc. He has a great arc.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is just such a great character study. That's the thing about this movie that I think is it delves deeper into his character than any other movie.
Yeah.
Because we're at the end of Indiana Jones's life, you know, basically.
Yeah.
He's been adventuring for 60 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is the ultimate prize, or the ultimate thing to find is time travel.
Yeah.
And, you know, anybody who's like, time travel, that doesn't, you know, it's like, look, man, we've dealt with the Jesus cup. We've dealt with the 10 Commandments crushed up, causing people's faces to melt.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
we're dealing with guys pulling hearts.
Still beating hearts out of people.
Bodies, you know, but, aliens and, you know.
Or, you know, getting inside of a fridge and surviving a
Exactly.
nuclear bomb. Yeah.
But it's just the guy, you know, the first shot that you see him as old Indiana Jones sleeping in a chair in his boxers, getting woken up by the Beatles, getting all mad, you know.
He's such an old man intensity. It's so great.
It is so good. Anyway, look, if you like Indiana Jones, if you love Indiana Jones like I do, and you don't see this in the theater, you're going to be really upset.
Every single person I've talked to, when I've said, oh, have you seen the new Indiana Jones? Oh, I heard it was bad. Oh, you saw it? What did you think? I was like, I loved it. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah.
Should I go see it?
Go see it.
Yeah.
Go
to the theater.
see it. See it in the theater.
We're not getting paid.
No.
We're not getting paid by Lucasfilm. In fact, Lucasfilm ruined my life.
Oh, God. That's
and
true.
I'm still pushing.
That movie, it's the first movie in a long time that the movie ended, and I was like, I want to sit down and watch this again right now.
Same.
Right
and
now.
it went by so fast, and it was just a great ride. And so many cool
good.
set pieces.
Oh, my God, so good.
There was one shot to me that looked weird. That was it. The shot of him running on the top of the train.
All that money they spent on that CGI, and they couldn't make him look more realistic running on top of that train.
Please fix that, by the way.
But his de-aging was amazing.
Oh, my God. It looked like him. It was like, that was kind of the sad thing, too, because, you know, you get a big old chunk of young Indy. It's like watching an old Indiana Jones.
It looked like it was shot in the early 80s.
So good. But seriously, if you're an Indiana Jones fan, find it. Watch it.
Yeah.
It's got to still be in the theater somewhere. It's worth seeing on the big screen.
Yes.
It's definitely, you know, I barely go to movies anymore.
Yeah.
But I definitely made sure that I saw this one in the theater because
so good.
I've seen them all in the theater.
Yeah.
From the beginning to the end, and there was no way I was going to miss this.
It was so good. It was the perfect ending to the Indiana Jones story. It was great.
Yeah. If you got a problem with it, then you're an unhappy person.
Then you have a problem. You are the problem.
You have a problem with it, then you have a problem with us. But seriously, go see it. It's such a great movie.
It was super fun.
If you love Indiana Jones, you're not going to be disappointed.
Right. All right. So what else you been watching?
Oh, Lord, man. I got a lot.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot. I'm going to go through a few things. I'm going to try to make it quick.
Okay.
But I ended up watching the Jack Ryan series.
Yeah.
I had not watched. I think what's really funny is I'm pretty sure I watched the first season.
Oh yeah.
But I rewatched
Don't
it.
remember any of it?
I remember bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got to the end, I was like, oh, I did watch this. But it was fine.
Yeah.
But it is a great video game. You know? It's like Extraction 2. Is that the movie?
Yeah.
Another great video. Because Jack Ryan is set up like it's a great video game with an amazing cast.
Right.
Wendell Pierce is amazing.
Nice.
As Jack Greer. As Will Greer. Will Greer? I think it's Will.
Yeah.
His boss or whatever.
Right.
But Wendell Pierce, you know him from The Wire and, from that Louisiana series. The jazz series.
Yeah.
Treme, thank you. Just an exceptional actor. One of my absolute favorite actors. And he nails it.
He's so good.
John Krasinski's great. There's a thing about John Krasinski that drives me nuts, though. And he did this in The Office, and he does it in this. And a lot of times, when he gets quiet, you get a little quiet, little gift with me.
Yeah.
And that drives me nuts. But he didn't do it a lot in this.
Yeah.
But, it was, I think, enough time. I think when I first started watching this, it was just too close to The Office.
Yeah.
And it's still a little hard for me to see him as an action guy.
Yeah.
But he's good. And there's a really nice arc for his character over the series where he's pretty much a Boy Scout at the beginning. It's annoying to the point where it's annoying, where it's like, dude, you're undercover. You can't be this righteous about everything. You're going to have to make, you're working for the CIA, dude.
Right.
You're going to have to bend your morals a little bit or get the F out.
Yeah.
But he does start to realize that. And the supporting cast is really, really good. But each season is kind of it's either you got terrorism, or then it's the Russians, and then it's the this. And it very much like a video game, because a lot of the episodes are like, all right, Jack, you have to infiltrate this embassy. There are 3 exits over here. Your target is this, and you have to get this. So it fully just reminded me of the Call of Duty games.
Right.
So after I watched the show, I got a bug up my butt and started playing all the Call of Duty games, because we got so many of them for free over the years. And I never play the multiplayer of those, which I know that's the only reason why most people buy it.
Sure.
I just like the campaigns, because the campaigns are short and sweet, and it's like playing a Michael Bay action movie.
Yeah.
Or, and it's like, it's so over the top, and there's all these crazy set pieces and betrayals. It's the twists and turns are so over the top. I highly recommend if you are a PlayStation Plus member, to play the Call of Duty Cold War, because talk about 70s goodness, or 80s actually.
80s. After this, as of this, you're hearing this hopefully on the day that it came out on Friday. You only have a few days left to get it, but if you have PlayStation Plus, download it.
Look, you're basically, there's a character that looks exactly like a 70s Robert Redford, who's kind of your handler.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot more stealthy, which I like, going in. It's more spy-like, which I really like.
That's cool, yeah.
The other ones are more, tactical, 4-person,
right.
infiltrate. But man, there are so many, there is this one twist. I'm not even going to tell which game. I'm going to tell a few twists, but not which game, so I won't give it away. But there's this just great twist where you have to get this computer, hard drive or whatever, with all this information, and you battle through, and you battle through, and you battle through, and you finally get to the helicopter, and the guy is like, thanks. Time to get rid of some loose ends. Boom, shoots you. Boom, shoots this guy that has been like a staple of the series for years.
Right.
Unceremoniously kills him, pours gasoline on you, and lights you on fire while you're still alive. And then you die. And then you move on to another character. That's what's beauty about it.
Yeah.
Another one, there's a full-on nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
You crash this helicopter and you're crawling out, and you just look up and you see this
It's
mushroom cloud.
so
It is so
messed up.
epic.
It's
It
so
is
amazing.
epic.
Yeah.
And you die. But that's what I love about it is there's these great twists and turns.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you could play them in a weekend or even an afternoon if you want, because they're like 5 or 10 hours maybe.
10 at the most.
However, some are smaller and some are bigger. Some are better than others. But yeah, the Jack Ryan totally sucked me in to playing those games. It was really fun. I would recommend it. If you I've always liked, I know you're not a Clancy fan.
Yeah.
But I've always liked the Jack Ryan books or the Clark books. Because it's very Stephen King-y, the way that the thriller goes. It's not, there is a lot of technical stuff sometimes.
Right.
The technology, because he's really into the tech
Yeah,
stuff, which
yeah.
I like. But the books are good reads and they're fun adventures and spy stuff. So I haven't read them in a long time, but I used to read at least the Jack Ryan books and the Clark. I forget his name, but Clark was I don't know. They didn't have him in the series. They had a few different guys that were kind of an amalgam of him.
Oh yeah.
But he's like the CIA spook that comes and saves his ass all the time, and he's just like the badass MFer that if you need something done, you go to Clark.
He's there, yeah.
But there's a character, Matisse, that I think was based on him in the Jack Ryan show, and it's got Michael Kelly playing Mike November. If you saw Michael Kelly, you would know exactly who he is. He's kind of this balding, everyman kind of guy. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
He shows up. He's been on Dawn of the Dead. He was on House of Cards, Criminal Minds. He's been in a ton of stuff, but he's just like this solid, funny, charismatic guy. And so it's got a great cast. I'd say watch it.
Yeah.
Go for Jack Ryan. And then play some Call of Duty. You'll have some fun.
Yeah.
You'll feel like a patriot. Other things that I watched that I really liked, They Clone Tyrone. Mm-hmm. Really fun.
I need to watch that. Yeah.
That totally fits in this month because it's a very cool mix of 70s blaxploitation and 70s sci-fi. It comes together. It's told in present times, but it's totally got this feel of like 60s, 70s. John Boyega's great, playing multiple characters. Hence, Clone and Tyrone.
They Clone Tyrone.
And Jamie Foxx is great. Leonia Paris, I think that's how you pronounce her name. I've never heard it, so please forgive me if I'm wrong. But she was in. She's like the new Marvel lady that was in WandaVision.
Yeah.
She's in the new
Monica Rambeau.
Yes, Monica Rambeau. Thank you. But she's so much fun in this, so energetic. It's just got a great cast. It's a fun movie, real quick ride, very clever, and I think it's the directorial debut for this director.
Oh, really?
Very strong.
Okay.
I watched some of the new Witcher. I held off because the streaming services are now doing this thing where they release half of the show and then another half, so you don't just get it for the 2-week free trial and then get rid of it.
Right.
So I haven't finished that. So far, really enjoying it.
Okay.
This will probably be the last season I watch because I can't imagine
somebody else
playing The Witcher. I don't think it's like James Bond. I think Cavell has made this his role.
Yeah. I agree.
And I just honestly, and may prove me wrong, but I just don't think that Liam Hemsworth is going to be.
He's going to be
as strong.
Sure.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I watched the new Futurama started. I watched the episode.
Nice.
It is Futurama.
Yeah.
It is exactly, nothing's changed. If you like Futurama, it's Futurama. I watched Adam Eve, which was a standalone.
Oh, yeah. I need to watch that. Yeah.
Very good. It was the origin story of
Adam Eve.
From
Invincible.
Yes. It's gory and it's fun and it's.
Oh my God! I'm so excited for the next season of that.
So good.
I'm probably gonna watch. I've watched the first season twice. I'm probably gonna watch it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I've only seen it once, but I'm gonna watch it again.
It's so good.
Another really great show is The Lincoln Lawyer. Again, they they cut that season in half. The next half is coming out next month. great cliffhanger to stop it on because I was just like, F you guys.
Yeah.
But that's a really solid show. If you like crime procedurals, the guy that stars in it is really charismatic. It's a cool show. It's a really cool series of books. I think Michael Connolly.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I've read one of the books.
Oh, yeah.
They're good. I mean, it's like if you like Michael Connolly's crime.
Yeah,
you're gonna love it. It's really good. The show is totally worth your while.
Okay.
Let's see. Joe Pickett. Oh, baby. A lot of Joes and Jacks and Johns.
Yeah.
Joe Pickett is so good. This season is so good. And it's on Paramount. They're on Sundays. So you got to wait each week. And they do a great job of cliffhanging episodes where it's just like, F you. But the guy that plays, he's a Kiwi. The guy that plays Joe Pickett, I don't know his name. I'm not going to look it up because F him. No. But he was also in that space show on Apple TV, Mankind.
Oh, yeah.
There was like a alternate telling of the space race where I think Russia hit the moon first. Good show. But this guy is so good at playing awkward. Like, Joe Pickett is just so uncomfortable in his own skin. Like, I've never seen a guy like jam his fists into his back pockets of his jeans and look just so like he wants to just...
Right.
It is a brilliant performance. It's a really cool show. Like, the way that they portray the family. His wife is a badass. The kids are really supportive. Like, it's a good family and not a cloyingly stupid, we're a great family. Like, if they sing together, and they do sometimes, they earn it. Look, I hate that stuff, Adam. I hate it. You know me. You know me.
Yeah.
But they earn it because it works with them.
Okay.
And so that's the thing about this show is there's so much in this show that I should not like. But I do. So I'm giving it props. Plus, it's just a really, interesting, like, serial killer. It's just weird that a fish and game guy is so connected to so many murders and stuff. But it's a small, corrupt town.
Yeah.
So we're on the second season of that, so you can binge a little bit. And I think we're getting close to the end of the second. I watched a really fun documentary on Shudder called Sharksploitation.
Oh, yeah.
I love shark movies.
Love
them. And this does it's like a 2 hour and something. It's crazy.
Wow.
But it does a really good job. It has marine biologists and Roger Corman and anybody from all of the shark worlds all together to talk about these movies. And it's if you love shark movies, it's a great celebration of that. Plus it's goosed me to watch a bunch of really bad shark movies.
Nice.
Sharktopus. And they talk about Sharknado, and they talk about our buddy Mark's six-headed shark movie.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one that Mark Nagle was in, right?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
But if you like sharks and you got Shudder, it's a no-brainer. I'm almost done, I promise. My biggest pick is Justified Primeval.
Yeah.
That just started. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. That is so good. You don't have to have watched the series Justified because it's a different town, different story. I would recommend watching it because Justified's an amazing show.
Sure.
But it is just proves what an amazing actor.
Oh, yeah.
Timothy Oliphant. Jimmy Oliphant.
Oliphant.
I got really
Timothy Oliphant.
Elitist. Timothy Oliphant. It just goes to show that Timothy Oliphant is just such a great actor.
Oh, yeah.
He is so likable. And I love how he has just leaned into playing a cowboy.
Yeah.
Whether it's a space cowboy on Book of Boba Fett, or it's a cowboy on Deadwood, or a TV cowboy on the Tarantino movie.
Oh, yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Or a martial cowboy in Justified. He is so good, but there's a scene, it's not really spoiling anything, but there's a scene in it where this guy, he's got his teenage daughter with him in this show. It's the conceit is he's driving his teenage daughter to this camp because she punched somebody in the nose. And it's basically just a camp, but she's great, and their chemistry together. The actress playing his daughter is amazing. And they end up stopping, and these dudes try to rob them,
Yeah.
He's a marshal, so he's like, guys, you effed up.
Yeah.
And so he gets sidetracked and then pulled into this murder investigation and all this stuff. And there's this scene where this bad guy is kind of cozied up to his teenage daughter, and he takes him out. And Oliphant's always got a gleam in his eye, and he always looks like he's, smiling and listening.
Mm-hmm.
And then the switch to violence, it is so effective, the way that he does it. Like, I don't think anybody can do it as well as him, that burn. Anyway,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think we're 3 or 4 episodes in. I'm just riveted.
What is it? What's it streaming on?
Hulu.
Oh,
Hulu. Justified Primeval. Definitely worth watching. I also watched Transformers movie, The Beast.
Yeah. Rise of the Beasts or Beastie Beasts or whatever. Yeah.
So, not good. Not
Wait, what?
good. There's just no depth or anything to these movies.
No,
Like, I don't care about any of them. And also, there's no consequences.
Right,
Like, everything that happens, all of the deaths, spoiler alert, all of the deaths don't matter because they don't
stay dead.
stick. And it's the whole, Marvel Avengers death thing where nobody ever dies. The only thing about it, there's I will give it props for it being more condensed. Like, they didn't do any army crap. They didn't have these huge,
Right.
Giant battles within the city.
Right.
It all kind of takes place in Peru. It's, I think, 2 human beings.
Right.
And it's mostly, the robots. You got Peter Dinklage as the bad guy robot, and you got Ron Perlman as the gorilla robot.
Wow.
And you got Michelle Yeoh is the bird robot. But who cares? Like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a whole new bad guy, Planet Eater, which is just like Marvel.
Well, that was from the Omicron. That was from the 1984 movie.
Right, Omicron.
Where
Scourge.
He's going to eat Earth. And they have to defeat him.
They do.
Yeah.
And he's going to eat Earth.
That was
Adam.
originally voiced by Orson Welles.
Yeah.
It was one of the last things he did
It was
before
the
he
last
died.
thing he did. Well, I don't know who was voiced by this time, but it was no Orson Welles.
No.
And it was just, it's fine, I guess. But it's just like these movies have nothing to them. It's basically just a toy. It's like if you were playing with your toys, but I think you would have a much more interesting plot in your toy playing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And poor Pete Davidson.
Does he play him? Does he play a person in it?
No. Pete Davidson plays Mirage,
Oh, okay.
the car that can kind of turn into anything.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Mirage is a Porsche, right?
Okay.
But somehow he turned into a giant trash truck. Like, where did he get the extra metal? Where did he get it? Because he's not that big.
You understand that this is giant robots turning into things.
But even in that conceit, Adam, it doesn't make any sense.
But they're not made of metal. They're
poor
made
Pete
of this
Davidson.
weird
Okay.
Autobot flesh.
Sure. And it expands. Anyway, poor Pete Davidson, man.
That's your sticking point.
All I could think was him in the booth being like, come on, guys. Is this going to make me look like an a-hole? And the director's like, no, man. This is funny stuff. You're hilarious, Pete. This is great. Keep going, man. This is great.
Is he a good guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's basically...
Mirage in the original was not.
He's Pete Davidson.
It's Pete Davidson.
But it's like the worst version of Pete Davidson. I like Pete Davidson. I think Pete Davidson's hilarious. I think he's really funny.
An interesting person.
Oh, yeah. And I think he, as a human being, has been through a whole S-load of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy is struggled and come out. And like you said, really interesting guy.
Yeah.
Very talented. Hilarious. Great on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
That movie he did with Bill Burr, The King of Staten Island or whatever.
I think it was Bill Burr.
There's one with Bill Burr where he was like playing his stepdad or something.
Yeah, I think it was Bill Burr.
That was funny. King of Staten Island was fine.
It was an autobiographical.
Autobiography. Somebody's sleeping.
Sorry, I'm from Staten Island.
Oh,
It was autobiographical.
But really, really, look, I love the guy, but it's like a parody of Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
You know, fist bumps and
Yeah.
bad jokes and
it's
horrible
like the heightened
stuff.
version of him.
And he's the only one. Everybody else
So
is
he
super
just
stoic.
sticks
out like a sore thumb.
I hate it when they do that.
And then again, you know, he's got a death that doesn't really. It's just, ugh. That was the thing. It's like watching the movie. I just felt so bad for Pete Davidson the entire time. I'm just like, poor Pete.
Poor Pete.
Poor Pete. Stay the F away from that, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's the stuff that I've been watching. I'm sure there's other stuff. But my big recs would be Lincoln Lawyer, Justified Primeval, and Joe Pickett. And then if you like sharks, the Sharksploitation.
Yeah.
Those are the picks for the week. Or the month, I guess.
Yeah. I did watch, on the plane, I watched John Wick Chapter 4.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to that.
Which hasn't come out on streaming yet. It's interesting. It's almost 3 hours long.
It seems a bit much.
Yeah, it goes pretty fast, I will say. It moves really quickly. I'm a little sad because I think they abandoned because the first 3 movies technically happen over like 5 days.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they abandoned that for the last one, which makes sense. But it definitely feels like it's the last movie?
Yeah, I heard they took his kitten this time. He had a kitten.
No, yeah. Well, there's a guy in it that has a dog, and the dog like fights with him. And there were so many times I was like, well, Phoebe's not going to be able to watch this.
Yeah.
But it actually works out really well at the end, and it's a really good plot point with the dog. It's really fun.
Good.
But
I'm looking forward to it.
It's good. It made me want to go back and watch the first 3 again. Which, surprise, none of them are available to stream anywhere.
That is crazy. I watched all 3 when I think they were all streaming on Paramount or something.
Yeah, they were on Peacock for a while, and I think they were, but like they were there for a while. But I think they're going to come back when the new one comes.
Well, the Continental.
Yeah,
that's releasing soon, right? The series.
Yeah, with Ana de Armas and stuff. Yeah,
no, Ana de Armas. That's the ballerina. That's a spin-off
that's a different
movie.
one. Yeah,
and
spin-off movie, but there's a series.
Yeah,
okay,
the Continental that I think is coming on Paramount Plus soon.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely at that point where it's almost kind of a parody of itself.
Yeah,
but still good. But like, there's a couple characters you're like, oh my god.
Lance Reddick is in it, right?
Yes.
He's so good.
He plays the guy who owns the Continental.
Right.
So Ian McShane owns the Continental, and Lance Reddick plays his like second hand.
I'm still devastated.
So too soon, man. So too soon.
Well, he's not just an amazing actor that's in some of my absolute favorite shows and movies. But he was also such a huge part of the video game universe.
Yeah. And
his voice acting in so many games, whether it's the Forbidden West series or the Horizon series, or I think he was even in Call of Duty stuff. I mean, the guy was in,
and he played a big part in that online shooter from Sony,
Destiny.
Yeah, the Destiny 2. Yeah, he was huge in that.
Destiny 2.
Yeah,
just such an amazing actor, such a great voice, and so many different things are trickling out now.
Yeah.
That he's done, and it's just a reminder of what we aren't going to get anymore.
I know, it's sad.
Breaks my heart.
I do want to have just a moment for Sinead O'Connor, who just passed yesterday. Or 2 days ago. I mean, I hadn't really listened to a lot of stuff that she had done recently, but I found out Bear McCreary was doing music with her.
Oh, wow.
Literally, like in the last couple of weeks, has been doing music with her, and he was devastated. But yeah, it was sad. I watched the week after she did the SNL, like tearing up the picture of the Pope.
Yeah.
The host after that was Joe Pesci.
Oh, did he put it back together?
He taped it back together and then threatened to beat the hell out of her.
Yeah. Class act. Class act. There was a funny story about that where David Spade went out there and just grabbed a piece of the picture, and then when they put it back together, there's a piece missing.
There's literally a piece missing.
And they're like, somebody stole the piece. And he was like, oh my God. And then he, but yeah, I mean, I get it. Joe Pesci is a little Catholic. I'm a little Catholic.
I'm Italian.
I like the Pope. I'm a Catholic. It's also so bizarre to me that you would get banned for ripping up a picture of the Pope.
It was the time.
You had to respect it.
Yeah.
Respect. Nothing Compares to You. Written
Yeah,
by Prince.
so good. God, so good.
She was an anomaly, and she was, like you said, still making music to this day.
Yeah.
Got a bad rap.
She got it rough. She had it rough. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was open season on her after she did that, and
And
apparently she had a 17-year-old that died last year.
Yeah.
I don't know from what. She had a lot of mental health issues. Like she was very open about all of it,
Yeah.
and was like, and she was a champion for people trying to help themselves.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. She was only 56. It's a shame.
Way too young. I don't know. Do you know how?
No, they haven't released yet. How? So I don't know.
And Tony Bennett, he passed.
So sad. Tony. I mean, granted, he was 97.
He helped
but-
liberate the camps, man.
Yeah,
That guy was a
he
hero.
He was an amazing singer. Phoebe was super sad about that because she wanted to see him live, and now obviously
I've seen him. A good friend of ours, Matthew Hoffman, he wrote a book, a coffee table book about him, and knew him really well, and I think he did a couple of books on Tony Bennett.
Oh, wow,
and
nice,
actually worked
nice.
with Tony Bennett.
Oh, nice.
To do it. I said he was just the nicest guy.
My sister-in-law, who passed at the beginning of the pandemic, was actually related to him,
Oh, wow.
like distantly. Yeah. That was sad. I mean, he had a great life. He definitely did a lot of.
Left my heart
He's such a great voice.
in San Francisco. All right, so that's kind of what we're watching. You haven't been
Yeah.
watching a lot because you've been busy.
No, I've been busy. I haven't really played very many video games either.
There's a few things that I played. I'll go through
Yeah.
really quick. I have a couple of recs for stuff that's on sale if you want to
Yes,
get a couple of things that
I
are
did
cheap.
buy a couple things on sale.
I was playing. It's funny. I don't know. I've been just going through the games because I have so many games from getting free games from PlayStation Plus and stuff for like 10 years. So I was going through, and so what I've been playing mostly, I went back to Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah, Arkham Knight. Yep.
I never played that because I got stuck on some Riddler challenge thing. And I was like, F this.
It
This
was
is
so annoying.
F it. And then you told me you don't have to play those things.
No.
And when I found that freedom, it was so much fun. It's like a detective. I mean,
it's a great game.
it's a great. I know I'm like 15 years late on
But it
this.
still holds up.
But it holds up. Graphics are great.
Yeah.
It's a good story. There's some really like cool scares and stuff
Yeah.
that I didn't even
Yeah.
realize. Like,
Yeah.
the whole thing with the Joker.
The conceit with the Joker just hanging out with you, like
Very
you'll
cool.
shoot up on top of a building and he's just sitting on the side of the building talking to you. So good, God, it's so good.
And I think it's
Mark Hamill.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
best Joker of all, in my opinion. And it's got Kevin Conroy, the best Batman
Yeah.
of all, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And it just saddens me listening to him because, again, we're not gonna get that Batman anymore. But that was fun. I did play some more Stray.
Nice.
Which is really fun. It's just, I need to like just jam through like 3 hours.
Some story. Yeah.
Because it's a very different game. And it's
Right,
very different than
right.
most of the stuff that I play. It's more of a platformer.
Yeah.
But it's super interesting. It's crazy the way that they can kind of make this quest game with the cat.
Right.
It's great. I mean, I'm really enjoying it, but it's like, to me, it's kind of like Disco Elysium or these kind of quirky games that I like, but they're so different. Especially like Disco Elysium is so complicated. It's just you need to kind of immerse yourself in
Yes,
the world for a
yes.
while, and then I think I'll just be sucked in.
Right.
So I've been playing that. Like I said, I played 4 or 5
A bunch
Cold
of
War.
Call of Duty games.
I really enjoyed the Cold War one that was released for free this month. Is really good. I played the Modern Warfare ones, which were also free a while ago. And then I've been playing Black Ops 3, which has like Christopher Maloney, which is really weird. And it's all in the future and you're part robot. And it's so crazy over the top.
I just saw Christopher Maloney in some movie. It was him. God, I looked it up because my dad and I were watching it, and he was a badass in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't remember. Like he was fighting these guys that tried to, and it was just like, wow.
Yeah.
How is Christopher Maloney not a huge action star?
Christopher Maloney is he's like an anomaly. He's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
amazing. Stabler, the Law and Order
Yeah.
character he played. I mean, there are people that just worship him because of that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just keep standing. He and Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah.
And it's like they are like the it couple of TV.
Yeah,
But the guy's incredible. That show that he did with Patton Oswalt as the imaginary friend.
Oh yeah.
was amazing. And
Yeah.
the stuff that he did in the Harold and Kumar movies,
Yeah.
the weird little parts.
He is not afraid to take weird roles and just go with it.
Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh my god!
With the can.
He's so good in that.
The guy is equal parts the scariest MFer
Yes.
on the planet.
Yes.
When he wants to be. And the funniest MFer on the planet.
He has such good comic timing.
And he's also, for all intents and purposes, just seems like an awesome dude.
Yeah, he's somebody that I want to sit down and hang out with.
He is the one dude on Twitter that I enjoy. Like, his Twitter was hilarious.
You mean X?
I guess. Before I got off of it. But, he one of my favorite responses from him is some guy showed off a tattoo that he had, which was just fully nude Chris Maloney from when he was on, what was that prison show on HBO?
Oz?
Oz. That's where you got to start.
I didn't even know Christopher Maloney was on
That's where you got to start.
I've never watched Oz. I've never seen it.
So he replied to the tweet of, basically the naked him tattoo. He was just like, my man. And he loves that stuff. There's nothing pretentious about him. There's nothing BS about him. He just seems like an authentic human being and one of the most talented,
So good.
versatile
So good.
guys ever. He's just got that weird. I think the reason why he's not a bigger star is because he's a weird looking dude.
Yeah. But he's on the movie I was watching is called I Am Wrath. I don't know if you've seen this with John Travolta. Oh, it's from like 2016. It's Travolta's like essentially it's like getting revenge. Like his wife gets murdered and
My
he's getting
wife got
revenge.
killed. I'm going to get
And he
someone
was
for it.
like a special ops guy, and Christopher Maloney's like his friend that helps him do this revenge stuff. Maloney so outshines Travolta, and it's not Travolta's not bad in it, but it's just not a great movie. But man, Christopher Maloney is so good.
He's good in everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
so good, so good.
So it's kind of been fun to see him pop up on
Yeah.
Call of Duty and Uncanny Valley because it's weird looking.
Yeah.
And then I picked up, excuse me,
Wow.
on your recommendation, there's a big summer sale going on, I think for the next week, if you're listening now,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
PlayStation Plus, or PlayStation Store, sorry.
Yeah.
And I picked up the Avengers game.
Yep.
You can get the deluxe. Did you get the deluxe edition?
I did.
I started playing that. It's fun. I mean, the story is fun. Some of the controls are weird. The Hulk is fun to control.
Nice.
Kamala, Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
She's a fun character.
Yeah.
The person that they cast as her is really good. It seems it's like a fun single player. It's definitely worth $6.
Yeah. For the single player. I mean, and again, like I think it's that kind of Call of Duty thing. I think it's like a 20-hour story, if that.
But there are story expansions.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's a little bit longer because I've been playing for a while.
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
only like 13% done with,
okay.
the single player story.
I thought it was shorter, but yeah.
and then once you get
Regardless, yeah.
through the first single player thing, then there's other things that
Right.
you can either play single player or with friends.
Right,
Like the Black Panther expansion and
Oh,
the
nice.
Spider-Man or whatever. But it's definitely worth it. I mean, it's got an interesting story. It's fun. I'm never going to play any of the multiplayer stuff.
Never. In fact, technically, come like I think next March, you won't be able to because I think they're shutting all the servers down.
And then another. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth $5 if you like superhero stuff.
Yeah.
If you've wanted to like punch around as the Hulk while wearing a zoot suit as the Hulk,
Because why not?
this is your dream come
It's
true.
been my dream.
But I've enjoyed it. And then there was another one, a little indie called Cloudpunk,
Yes.
which is an
Yes.
interesting little 8-bitter or 16-bitter
Yeah.
that you play as like a taxi driver, and it's part fly driving,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, a cyberpunk city with flying cars, and then you can land the car
Yeah.
and do other stuff. And it's just this weird little, I don't think there's any combat or anything. It's just
No,
kind of
it's
this.
more of an exploration.
Yeah.
But there's a story.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. Another, like, you can pick up both of those for under $10.
Yeah, I think Cloudpunk's like $5. It's not very
something
much.
I think I bought both of them for $9.98 or something.
I picked up Cloudpunk and the Avengers. So I picked up, in that same sale, I picked up Pathfinder Kingmaker, which is a top-down like RPG that got some great reviews.
Nice.
So I'm really curious to give it a try, based on D&D stuff.
Yeah.
D&D expansions.
I'm looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3, which is coming out.
Yeah, September.
The only thing is I'm not a fan of turn-based combat.
Yeah.
But I will have to say, there is a game demo that I played. It's out. It's a game that's coming out soon. Sequel to something. But it's totally the old JRPG 8-bit
Oh, yeah.
kind of deal. And it's got the turn-based. And I played through some of that demo. I really liked it.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of like the turn-based. So I'm like, okay. But Baldur's Gate 3 just sounds like it's going to be insane.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
And you can play what I think if we do get it, I think what I'd like to do is have one game where I'm playing by myself, and then another game where you and I can play together.
Yeah.
Because you can go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
You can even do couch co-op together with a split screen.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
That sounds really fun. That's coming out next month.
I did also pick up, they had it on super sale, and it was the deluxe edition. This is the thing I was thinking of, that the deluxe edition was like $5.99, and then the regular one was like $40. But Kingdom Come Deliverance I picked up. Because it has all the DC. It's like set in like 1409. You're like a blacksmith's son.
Oh, I have that.
I know. I bought it for you for Christmas a long time ago. But this came with all the DLC, so I was like,
I think I have all the DLC too.
I was like, okay, you know what? I had read an article and people were just gushing over it, and I was like, I have never sat down and played it.
It's cool, and the thing that I like, because I did play a little bit, the thing that I really like about it is that you play as a nobody.
Yeah.
And it's not about you really saving the world or whatever.
Right,
it's kind of like
right.
you just kind of becoming whatever. The only thing that the combat was so difficult because you have to learn. I mean, everything is very realistic in it.
Right,
It's
right.
not dragons and orcs and,
Right.
It's blacksmiths and
No,
and-
it's very real. Yeah.
But it's supposed to be a remarkable game. And
yeah,
I've,
I'm excited to play it.
yeah,
Give it a shot.
I'd like to give it a shot as well.
I did have a recommendation from Newt, Phoebe's younger sibling, who recommended a game called Killer Frequency.
Oh.
It's on sale right now for $20 on the summer sale for PS5. Pretty sure they played it on PC, but it's like a first-person mystery thing. You're a nighttime DJ, and essentially the 911 operator has to leave town. And so you have to be the 911 operator.
Oh.
And essentially it's you solving this crime and getting like stalked by this serial killer or something.
That sounds awesome.
You should watch the trailer for it. It looks amazing. $20 is a little rich because
Yeah.
I think it's only like a 20-hour game. But I think once it gets down to like 10, 15 or 10, I'll probably pick it up.
Nice.
But it looks really, the aesthetic of it looks amazing.
Nice. Yeah, that does sound really cool. I love me some serial killers. That's for sure. There's not enough games like that are more mysteries.
Yeah.
I started playing the Alan Wake remake.
Yeah.
It was free.
I'm going to do definitely the next couple of weeks. Going to do that.
That's fun. It's very Stephen King. I mean, even it opens up with a quote by Stephen King.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know what you're getting. There's a sequel to that coming out soon. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff coming out that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
More so in September. There's not a lot of stuff coming out in August that I'm...
No. I watched a video from GameRinks this morning about August stuff, and I like half paid attention because it wasn't,
No.
Baldur's-
September.
Baldur's Gate comes out on PC in August, but it doesn't come out for the PS5 until September. But September looks like it's going to be a hefty month.
Well, September, you've got Baldur's Gate. You've got the first and I think only expansion for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Which looks really great. It's going to
Yeah.
completely overhaul the game.
I'm so excited to finally play that game.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of jealous that you're going to be playing. I think I might start a new playthrough when all of the things change over.
Yeah.
But the Phantom Liberty or something Liberty.
Something like that, yeah.
It's got Idris Elba and it's got, Johnny Silverhand. Keanu Reeves is back.
Keanu Reeves.
I loved it. I loved
yeah.
the Cyberpunk game. Once it finally came to the PS5 and they got rid of the glitches.
Right.
It was just totally in my wheelhouse.
Nice.
A lot of stealth, and you can play the way you want to play. Great story, great graphics. 100% recommended. I'm really excited for that. That's about it, man.
All right.
I think we've given you enough stuff.
Yeah. A lot of stuff to ponder over.
Let us know in the comments what you're playing, what you're watching.
Yeah.
And if there's something 70 sci-fi that you'd want us to cover, or if there's anything you want us to cover, let us know. Because
please.
We want to make y'all happy.
Yeah.
Happy chappy.
We're going to be back next month with our August, which is our Gene Hack Month.
Gene Hack Month, baby.
Oh, I'm so excited about Gene Hack Month.
Oh, we got The Conversation, which is the greatest film about paranoia ever made.
It's also just one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah. It's such a masterful performance by Gene Hackmonth.
Yeah.
And then we got French Connection, classic. Everybody loves it.
So
And
good.
we'll finish up with Mississippi Burning with he and Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Stamping out racism.
Trying to stamp out racism.
They didn't do it. We're still trying.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back with a brand new month.
Yeah.
And stay cool, babies.
Yeah.
Waller Bridges. Phoebe Waller Bridges. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming, Sane Elsewhere, already in progress.